How does learning a language help you understand more about culture? The world is a big place, and it's an exciting thing to travel the globe. No matter where you're going, you're bound to meet new people, some of which will speak English, others may not. If there's one thing I've learned from my experience as an au pair living in France, it's that communication can help break down barriers and build friendships. This is why I believe that language learning can help you become more culturally aware and open-minded. I was an English student for 8 years, and like most of the students in my class, our English teachers teach us about British culture and history from a very young age when we learn the English language. But what about France? When I moved to France as an au pair, I was surrounded by people of all different cultures and nationalities. Being bilingual allowed me to communicate with them and understand more about what they believed in. Making friends all over the world. I made friends from all over the world, Dimitris from Greece, Dina from Germany, and even Hannah, who was half French English. Through my friendship with these people, I learned so much and realized that a country's culture is more than just its history or favorite food. If you're thinking about becoming an au pair, I would say language learning is the key. It will help you understand more about your host family's culture, your friends, and even your new home. As well as this, learning another language can help you in many other ways, including job opportunities, traveling without a worry, meeting new people from the comfort of your own home. The most important thing about learning different languages is that you can learn the language in a different culture within a very short period. Here are some great ways that language can help you learn the culture of the country. Aspects of a language that can help you understand different cultures. A lot of languages have many unique things that make up the whole. For example, Spanish has 10 different ways to say the boy, compared to English, which only has one. This is because different languages see the world in very different ways. You need to know these differences if you want to learn a new language. We don't think of colors the same way in every country. They have two completely different words for our light blue and dark blue in French. Little things like this can help you understand more about another culture and can really help during communication. How is culture and language linked? In a nutshell, culture is the beliefs and behaviors that are shared among people. In other words, it's the way you live your life as part of a group. Although this may seem quite easy to explain, every country has its own set of rules, traditions, and social norms. These things can be difficult to understand if you've never experienced them before. This is why language learning plays a huge part in understanding a different culture. Why it's important to learn a culture while learning language. It's important to take Cantonese lessons if you are interested in knowing more about Hong Kong or the culture of China. Understand the culture while learning a language because it will help you understand the words and phrases that you're being taught. To improve your Cantonese language level, you need more understanding about the culture of the language. Listening to Cantonese music is another great way to understand the language and the culture. If I'm teaching someone how to introduce themselves in French, I have to explain why it's important to say certain things. For example, if I was introducing myself in English, I would say, "My name is Pro_Art, I'm 24 years old and I'm from Asia." I would then leave a pause for the other person to say their own name in return. In French, however, it's customary that the person being introduced will always respond by saying, "Nice to meet you." This means that if someone introduces themselves in English without pause, they might not understand why the person they're talking to responds in this way. Language learning can be a really great experience as you learn new things about yourself and others through interaction with different cultures. If you thought learning a language would restrict you from traveling, think again. With the help of technology today, it's now possible to travel all over the world and communicate with other people. This means that you can learn about many cultures in one go, all while having fun. Several ways learning a language can directly impact your knowledge of a certain culture. Here are some of the ways that learning a language can directly help you learn about a people's culture. Making new friends. One of the best ways that language learning can help you understand a country's culture is through making new friends. Whether it's online or in person, communicating with others is one of the easiest ways to learn more about them, and make some extra buddies along the way. Break down barriers. Sometimes, when we communicate with friends and family in a different language, it can lead to misunderstandings. When this happens, it's important to use your common sense and be polite. If you're unsure about something, ask. The chances are they didn't mean to offend you. This is why it's important to be open-minded when you learn a new language. It's always good to make mistakes and learn from them. Of course, it can be frustrating at times, but once you get over that hump, making mistakes are part of the process. Learn about your own culture. A new language can help you learn a lot about your culture and the culture of others. It's not just about learning a new word or sentence, it's about immersing yourself in different cultures and experiences. So whether you're visiting a country for work, pleasure, or to study, language learning can help bridge the gaps between people from all over the world. Finding your voice. The moment when you can finally speak to someone in their own language is such a great feeling. You may feel like you've broken free, like you're finally becoming the person who has always been inside of you. It's awesome, and I would never trade that feeling for anything. It feels awesome to be able to communicate with others and help them understand more about your culture. Bridging the gap. There are times when we annoy our friends or family because of cultural differences. Sometimes, it can be difficult to know that your words may offend someone else, especially if you're not aware of these differences. This is where using another language can help you bridge the gap between two different cultures. If you make a mistake, it can be easily corrected with the right words. Learn everything about the world around you. When I first moved to London, I found myself using English all the time because there was no one around me who only spoke French. This made me really sad and homesick, but my English started becoming better and faster after a while. I realized that by learning new languages, you could learn so much more about the world around you. I'll be honest, it takes a lot of time and energy to become truly fluent in another language, but it's so worth every second. Besides the fact that you will spend a lot of time and energy learning a new language, you can also meet so many friends around the world. Understand your interest in a new culture. By speaking to people of different nationalities, you will start to understand their interests more. This is because they are free to speak about what they want. You can learn so much about a country just by speaking with its people. It's not only the words that are important but also the way you communicate with them. For example, if someone is from the south of France, they may not understand your northern accent. It can be frustrating for both of you, so it's important to learn how to speak properly. Over time, you'll find the right words and tone with them without even thinking about it. Cultural differences. By learning a new language, you are learning more about the culture of others. One day you're going to be able to ask your friends more questions about their country. You can always show your interest by asking those questions about their language, heritage, or traditions. People are usually flattered if someone shows an interest in who they are and where they come from. It's important to make a good impression, and one of the best ways to learn is using a new language. Remember, there are so many different cultures on the planet, and learning about them is such an awesome experience. Getting connected to a new culture. Learning a new language helps you feel more connected to another culture and the people living in it. Learning a new language helps you find your voice and understand more about the world around you. The sheer amount of people who speak several languages nowadays is truly amazing. It's no longer considered difficult to learn a new language. With so many online courses, apps, and globalized technology, you now have access to all these resources that can help you become fluent in another language.